What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to my temporary setup here. I was unable to catch the Speak No Evil remake this weekend because I was actually at the Horror Hound convention in Cincinnati. Ton of fun, met a lot of cool people, screened a couple of short films that were being presented at their film festival. It was an absolute blast. So I was able to catch Speak No Evil today, and I did watch the Danish original film a couple of months ago in preparation for this coming out. I suppose I'll start by explaining how I feel about that film, keeping it spoiler-free, but also it's going to be tough to keep it completely spoiler-free without differentiating between these two films and comparing them a little bit. I think the original is a very solid commentary on Danish social norms and how dangerous it can be to not trust your gut and be more concerned about being polite towards others rather than your own safety. Funnily enough, the biggest thing I call BS on when it comes to this American remake, which is coming out 2 years after the original, by the way. Hollywood is just out of control lately. But the funniest thing is that I don't see Americans having this same problem because that original film was meant to be a commentary on the fact that Danish people are maybe a little too nice and polite. As Americans, I don't know if we have that same problem exactly. Not that we're all assholes or anything, I just don't think it's a cultural symptom that we have. But anyways, let's talk about this film. It stars Mackenzie Davis as Louise, and forgive me if I get his name wrong, Scoot McNairy as Ben. This is a married couple with a young daughter, and they're on vacation in Italy, just like in the original film, and they come across this British couple, played by James McAvoy and Aisling Franciosi. After spending a night or two hanging out together on this vacation, I can't remember what the exact time frame is, the British couple invites the American family to come spend a weekend with them in their secluded country home. And you can probably guess, based on the trailer, which has been shoved down our throats for the last 5 months in theaters, you can probably guess what goes down, or at least the gist of it. Honestly, this is another one of those films that didn't need a remake whatsoever, especially considering the Danish film is spoken almost entirely in English. You don't even need subtitles or dubs. But honestly, I might almost prefer this version, and it mostly pertains to the ending because that's one of the only things that this film actually changes. The first 2/3 are very similar to the original. But I think what really heightens it is the cast. I mean, it's well shot too. It does have that indie feel, even though it is obviously a Hollywood film as opposed to the very small budget independent film that was the original Speak No Evil. The entire cast does a great job of selling this stuff, but James McAvoy, I mean, come on, he was always going to be the standout, but this dude is so fucking good at everything he does. He's becoming one of my favorite working actors today. And he does the deranged, passive-aggressive personality so well here. I don't know, my strengths and weaknesses with this film, at least for the first 2/3, tend to be the same as the problems and strengths that I found in the first film. The characters make dumb decisions constantly and stick around despite all of the red flags, some of which you could say, all right, they're exhibiting some plausible negligence to some of the things that are happening. But then there's other times where I'm like, okay, no human being would stick around and tolerate this bullshit. But it is tense, it is uncomfortable, and despite the fact that you're rolling your eyes at the characters oftentimes, you still want them to escape because you're like, come on man, just make the right decision for once. And then we come to the third act, which is the part that is drastically different from the original. This is the part that's tough to talk about without spoiling it because I don't want to say what's different about the original, and I also don't want to spoil the original for people who haven't seen that. What I'll say is I think it sacrifices some of the thematic resonance that the ending of the original had for more of a generic thriller type of film that American audiences crave. And quite frankly, I expected that. The ending of the original is so dark and depressing that I don't think American audiences would really take a liking to that, at least in terms of mass appeal, which is what I think this version is going for. And I actually don't think this movie is better or worse for doing that. It's just doing its own thing, changing the ending to give us kind of an alternate perspective that does lose some of that thematic power that the original had, but it also made me appreciate the characters a bit more in the end, and I was able to root for them a bit more. So yeah, I want to keep this one brief. Say what you will about remakes, but I thought this was alright and pretty decent as far as they go. It's definitely no masterpiece, nothing you need to rush out to see, and it does have some things that frustrated me as far as the main family, the husband. Beyond making stupid character decisions, I also just found him to be kind of goofy. But overall, it's a solid flick. I'm going to give Speak No Evil 3.5 stars. Blumhouse finally has a winner this year. So those are my thoughts on the film. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you want to see more, and drop down into the comments while you're at it and let me know if you've seen both versions, which one do you think is better. Thanks again for clicking on this video, guys. I'll catch you in the next one. See you later.